today, Jan and I are incredibly blessed to be bringing to you an icon in real estate, a woman who has accomplished so very much, and you heard that in our intro. But you know, so much more than what Dottie has done is the woman that she is. I mean, you're going to hear today her heart. You're going to see that she really cares about people, and it shows in everything she does. So without further ado, let's say hello to the CEO of Douglas Elliman, Dottie Herman.
Hi, I am so thrilled to be speaking to you, talking to you, and I have to tell you, both of you stood out. You stand out in the crowd, and I think I told you this. I normally get a lot of people that send me stuff, and I kind of just, but you really set yourselves apart. You were so out of the box, and you sent me flowers. You sent a cute little video, and I said, these girls are so great. They're so adorable. I have to do this. So I really am so thrilled to be part of what you do, because I think I've had a million people. I think you both stand out in the crowd.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much, Dottie, for that. Well, you know, we've read your story, and it's absolutely inspirational. It's a true rags to riches type story. But to someone who doesn't know the story, or who hasn't achieved a certain level of success that they want to, they might look at you and say, well, sure, Dottie did it, but I can't, right? And so we find that oftentimes ladies focus on the negative and the self-talk and the excuses and things. So they miss the opportunities that they could create for themselves. So would you mind briefly kind of sharing your story and giving examples of how you had challenges and you overcame them to get where you are today?
No, that's a great question. And so everyone looks at someone successful, regardless of what industry they're in, and says, oh, well, they had an uncle, their parents were successful, gave them money, they knew somebody great. And when I first started in the real estate business many years ago, and I worked for Merrill Lynch, they made me read a book, and it was about all these successful people and what their life was like before. And it was struggles, and it was ups and downs, it was rejection. I mean, just think about it. If you're an actor for the Seinfeld, they told them he'd never make it. And it was when somebody was down and out and everyone had rejected them, they just kept on going, and that's when it happened. So you have to have staying power, and you have to, I think, there's no one that gets through life without obstacles. And I spoke this morning to a real estate class, and I said, our business is kind of like peaks and valleys. So when you're up and everything is working and you're getting listings and you're selling properties, it's easy to be motivated. Then you lose a listing, a deal falls apart, and you go in the slump. And then it takes you 3 months to get out of the slump. Yep. You have to learn how to kind of be consistent and understand that is the business peaks and valleys. You have to know how to manage them. And what I do when I hit a valley, which I could write a book on how many I've met, I feel bad. My boss once told me, don't let anyone see you cry. Okay, so I'll get my car or I'll leave and I'll cry and I'll feel bad for myself. And I'll take a day or two, and then I'll come back. And I'm always on stage, which if you're in this business, you should always realize you're on stage. Nobody wants to be with somebody who's like, oh, like business is bad, I didn't sell any properties, it's a horrible year. And you don't realize you're talking to your friends even, and they're going to be in their mind, they're not going to recommend you. So you've got to be on stage, and you have to get back in the game, pick yourself up, and go forward. And I will tell you that when there's an obstacle, which there'll always be obstacles in life, you have to figure out how to get around it. So if you get stuck, you stop, take a step back, and figure another way to go around that obstacle.
Love it.
That obstacle shouldn't stop you, unless it's your health.
Absolutely. I totally get that. And I love it. The word resilience comes to mind in what you're talking about. So I totally agree with that. Now, Judy and I have, you know, when we're having this conference and we're like, okay, who do we want to be our keynote? one of the things we loved about what we saw of you is that you truly care about people. And I think you said that you make it your business to try to know everybody's name to the extent that you can. And we agree with that here at livyGirl. But I'm just wondering, what success traits do you look for? What would you say, in addition to resilience, of course, and since our audience is women, what success traits, what do you look for in women that want to excel in real estate as an agent?
Passion. Somebody who wants it. Somebody who is passionate.
Mhm.
Somebody, because I'd rather take someone with no experience, who knows nothing about our business, but wants it and is passionate about it. I always say it's not the smartest person that makes it. It might not be the most talented singer. I mean, there are great singers out there. The ones that make it, want it, are willing to. So I look for passion and somebody who really wants it.
Love it.
Awesome.
Thank you. That's perfect.
Awesome. Next question is, some people say it's tough to make it in real estate, that it's a man's world, even in real estate, even though the majority of agents are women. What's your reaction to that?
I think it's tough now, especially when I started, but there was always women agents and men. And I think in the higher positions, there was less women, but I never looked at that. I mean, look, especially when I was younger, it was a different world then. So, I mean, but I didn't make that stop me. I mean, and I don't think it's a man. I think we're fortunate in a business that it's not about age. It's not about sex. It's about connecting with somebody and finding that in common and creating a trust. And if you do that, and obviously having knowledge and showing someone the benefit, I think that's what it's really about. I don't think it's going to be I don't think that people necessarily say I'm only hiring a man or I'm only hiring a woman. So I think we're lucky. And I think I have people that work for me that are 85 and 90 years old.
Wow.
And they still do well. And they would tell me, oh, Dottie, aren't you glad that a lot of my friends are dying? But I think we're very fortunate that we're in an industry that I didn't see that too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually thinking that where Judy was going with that question was with respect to when I got into the business, my little one was 5 years old. And so it was harder for me because I was like taking care of kids. And when he got sick, my husband still went to work and I had to be the one to juggle because I had a flexible career. And so I thought that's where Judy was going with that, as far as women juggle a lot more.
Oh, absolutely. And, I go to a lot of conferences. I always believe in going and growing, and not necessarily to go with necessarily even your own industry. If you talk to women, they're usually more honest than men about it. When I was younger, I would say to all these successful men that ran big companies, oh, just tell me how you do it. Well, they would act like there was like no problems, just easy breezy. Well, when you go to a woman, they would say, gosh, like I almost lost my marriage. You balance, gee, I think it was, gee, my daughter or my children need it like right now, or my husband needs a little attention now. And it's not like the movies where you wake up and it's all glamorous and the kids are just perfect. So it's a balancing act. And I think you have to kind of step back and know when maybe your family needs a little more of you, or your business. I mean, it's hard to stop and say, I'm going home. And you have to have a support system of some sort that helps you be a little flexible. I mean, I raised a daughter with this business. So I told her, just promise me you'll never write a book.
That's a good one.
That is good.
I love it. Okay, so you're going to be our keynote. And some people heard of you, but they don't really know anything about you. Could you just give us a little inkling, a little taste of what you're going to be sharing? Just a little hint of what you'll be sharing with us.
I'm going to be sharing the opportunity that I think lies ahead for all the people in this industry. And I think that how to brand yourself, how to step out of the box and differentiate yourself, and how to find opportunities when you don't have a huge budget, how to invest in yourself, and how to really separate yourself so that people, that you stand out as not just a real estate person or a mortgage person, but somebody who their name stands out and people know of them. And I think that I've been doing that my whole life when branding wasn't really
Talked about, yeah.
no. And so I didn't do it planning that, but what I always did is I went to things, I made sure I read in the book to always meet people that are successful or even more successful than you. And when I opened offices, I would go to all the stores and say, oh, I just opened an office here, and here's Mom Dottie Herman, and I'm gonna have more offices soon. And people liked me, and they wanted me to win.
Yeah.
And I think you have to do stuff like that.
Well, on that point, were you always a natural networker, Dottie? You know, is that something that was always comfortable, kind of going into a room of strangers? And what advice do you have for those that aren't that way?
Well, I don't think I was, I think I was fairly social, but I'll never forget, I was working for Merrill Lynch and my boss was teaching at a college and went away on vacation. The college was calling and saying, you know, but he's supposed to teach tonight. I said, well, he must have forgot, he's on vacation. To make a long story short, at the end of the day, I did. And I was scared. I was so scared. I was like 26. I didn't know. I walk into the university, there's a whole class, and they're sitting there. And first thing a man says to me, are you the new home economics teacher?
Oh, oh, geez.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I took a step back and I kind of left. And then he kept on trying to, you know, get me. Anytime you go out there and do something, you're nervous. It's not, but you have to do it. And every time I didn't do something well, I would say, okay, what could I have done better? And every time I didn't get a listing, I would call up the sellers and say, I know that you've listed. I just need to ask you, what could I have done better?
Perfect. Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm. And most of them said to me, you didn't close us or something. But I was asked. And I realized that we're lucky. We don't have jobs. This is a career. Mm. And when you're building a career, it's very different than a job. But the opportunity, as someone like me that came from nowhere, is really there if you believe in yourself. And if you don't let people tell you how you can't.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, close that up. When somebody wants to tell you why you can't, close it up. So am I right that you're writing a book or you're working on a book, Dottie?
Yes. I'm working on a book, but it's not really about real estate. There's a million real estate books around. It's really going to be about moments and significant things and opportunities that I might have not recognized at the time, because I think we all have opportunities. We just don't see them. And going through them, the lessons I learned on the things that worked and some of the things that I didn't, that I didn't, because I think that there's so much opportunity. People are afraid. First, sometimes they don't see them. And then second, they're afraid that someone's gonna say, oh, see, you didn't make it, or you didn't get it, or I told you. So I kind of want to do lessons learned, basically, a kind of lessons learned book, because everyone thinks that I, sitting, here, they don't know what I could write a book about all the things that were so tough for me. And I think when people hear that, they feel, well, you know what? She could do it. If she could do it, I can do it. Believe me, I grew up with no mom. I was the oldest of 3 children. My mom died in a car accident when I was 10. And I woke up in a hospital, and a priest, because I was knocked out, I didn't know my mother died. And there was a priest, and he said to me, I don't know how to tell you this, but your mom's dead. And he gave me, and I started to cry. He gave me an angel, a wooden angel that was a music box. And he said, you have an angel though. She's always going to be there. And I believe in that. And I believe I have angels. And I kind of always wanted to do it. I want to make my mom proud too. So, but I love what I do also. So I think that life is all about how you navigate through it. And so is the real estate business.
Yes, indeed. I love it. So what do you like to do when you're not real estating?
Well, I don't have a lot of time, so I have to make choices. That is why I'm not a golfer, because it's too much time. I am a Soul Cycle freak. Okay, I've been spinning before Soul Cycle was ever in. I've been, I don't work out every day, but I work out 3 or 4 times a week. I've been doing that since I'm 20. I love spinning because I love music.
What kind of music do you like, Dottie?
Oh, I'm a music buff. I like all music. The first thing I do when I get a place is put great speakers in. I'm lost without music. So and I love friends, and I love going out and seeing friends and the ocean.
Oh, I love the ocean too. Yeah.
Something about the ocean that I can just take a cup of coffee and drive there in the morning, and right after I do my Soul Cycle, and I just find a certain peace with the ocean.
I share that with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely both want to have retire at the beach. That's for sure. Well, just as we near the end, how can people find you? I know that you have a radio show or podcast, and then do you want to tell us how we can find you, how our listeners and audience can find you?
Dottie Herman, DOTTIE. Oh, it's Dottie at DottieHerman.com, or you can reach me at dherman@elliman.com. And of course, I have a million social media things, so you can just look my name up and find me.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
And the Eye on Real Estate, we'll be sure to, if you haven't listened to that podcast.
Yeah, well, I have an app in the App Store that's free. And actually, somebody who was listening to my show said, you should have an app, and if you want, I'll just make one for you. And he did. So I have an app. It's in the App Store. It's free if you have an iPhone, and it's Eye on Real Estate.
That's awesome.
Awesome. I'm definitely gonna get that app.
I can't wait to see you guys.
Well, Dottie,
I believe in making money, doing great business, but I also believe in having fun. And I know you guys are fun too.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody so much.
Yeah, I can't wait to hang out with you. And you are such an inspiration, and you are an example of when you have that goal and the vision and you pursue it relentlessly, that you can achieve everything. So thank you so much, Dottie, for your time today.
It was my pleasure. And I'll see you real soon.
All right.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye.
Yes, see you in April. Bye-bye.